Hey folks, get ready for some sound effects because it's the only way I'm going to be able to tell you this story and offer this reflection. As you can tell, I cut my hair, I cut my beard. Beard came a little short, but the hair looks great. I think the hair is wonderful. Anyway, I've got this thing at home. It's like a palm sander, and it rotates. It's got like a circular thing. Anyway, bottom line is you put it on you use it and you move over your head, and you're supposed to go in circles. I've noticed lately that when I'm cutting my hair, it sort of pulls the hair. It's not necessarily cutting it. Sometimes every now and then it pulls it out. And as you can tell, I probably don't need any more help with hair being pulled out of my head. So I read the instructions. I've never read the instructions. I've had this thing for like 2 years. I've never read the instructions. And I read the instructions, and it said, on a regular basis, please use some of the oil we provided to oil the blades. I expected that would help with the pulling. What I didn't expect was what happened. After oiling it, I turned it on. And when I turned it on, this thing purred like a kid. I mean, it sounded great. It sounded strong, and it sounded powerful. It sounded like I thought a razor would sound. It has never sounded like that. It has always only ever sort of hummed. Right? It sounded like it was just barely enough. It was just barely moving enough. It was just barely operating fast enough, strong enough to cut my hair, and nothing else. But today, it was like a jet engine. It was getting ready to take off. It was amazing. I felt like I had raw power in my hand. And of course, it occurred to me, reading the instructions can go a long way. All right? Having an idea of how the manufacturer expected you to operate this very simple, very easy piece of equipment. Plug in, turn on, cut hair. That's it. Cut hair in circular motion. Okay, that's a little bit deeper. Finding out what the manufacturer had to say about the product the manufacturer built, that they were offering to you to use, priceless. If I had read this years ago, a lot less blood. If I had read this years ago, probably it took half the time today. I'm looking forward to cutting my hair the next time. On this channel, we get into the news and from time to time, and we get into politics, and we get into the economy from time to time, and we seem to bump into a lot of stories that I try to use, that I try to learn something from, and when I learn something from it, I try to offer it to you. And after cutting my hair this morning, the thing that popped into my brain was, especially from the Christian context, from the Christian church's perspective, my God, how many of our problems would go away if we just followed the instructions? Right? How many of our problems would just go away if we followed the instructions? I mean, the instructions originally weren't that significant. And really, throughout the course of the Bible is what I'm talking about by the instructions, but throughout the course of the Bible, but it goes beyond Christianity, it goes into other faiths as well. Right? If you look at our sacred texts, there's a general premise that runs right through them. Right? The general premise that overarches everything else. One thing, one theme that is found in every page, on every page, in every story, one theme that you can find throughout the entirety of these wonderful books, of these wonderful texts. Love. Love. Just love one another. Just love each other. You're going out and you're going to grocery shopping. You're going to bump into people. What should I do? Love them. Oh, okay. I'm going to encounter a clerk that is new at her job and takes an extra 15 minutes. What should I do? Love them. I'm going to encounter a nurse who It's his first time drawing blood from a 6-year-old, and you're going to get really angry. It's going to make you upset when you watch them take blood from your 6-year-old. How should you act? Lovingly. Right? The instructions that we see in the Bible, regardless of the story, it's about love. It's about God's call to love each other. It's about God's love for us. It's about God's desire for us to love God, for us to appreciate and love all that God's given us. The instructions really aren't complicated. We can pretty much boil it down to love. What should I do in this case? Love them. Yeah, this is really, really complicated, though. You don't really understand. What do you think? If you understood all the complex... No. Love them. Yeah, but they live in a way that I don't appreciate. Love them. Yeah, but they live in a way that I think you'd be upset with. Love them. I'll figure it out. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of my awesome haircut. But that inspired me. Just follow the instructions. Follow the instructions. It's not complicated. We make it complicated. We don't have to make it complicated. Just follow the instructions. Love them. Yes, I know that you think you can do this on your own, but there is one very, very particular instruction I need you to follow. Yes, I understand that you can discern all this stuff for yourself. Yes, I understand that you know what's best. But there is one instruction that will keep you safe. There is one law that will keep you safe. There is one command that will help you in this life, that will give you an abundant and prosperous life. Even though you think you've got it all taken care of yourself, just please listen to this one thing. Love them. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you, and may you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray that we will listen to the one command, love, that we will follow that one law, love, that we will see that one theme throughout our sacred texts, love. And through that, we will experience the joys, the wonders, the abundance of this life. Don't forget to love. Amen.